Look, the fact is that we're in a situation now where, you should have peace of mind. I know food prices are up, and we're working to bring them down. As I said, I grew up in a family where the price at the pump went up, you felt it, and I understand. But these things are necessities. We're working to bring down prices where they're not totally what families, in fact, have to pay now.
President Biden there making remarks for the surging inflation after the consumer price index hit a 40-year high, 7.5% inflation the month prior in January.
Yeah, many critics now slamming the president and his administration for the higher cost of goods. Even CNN presenting a realistic perspective of where we're at as a nation with this article, writing a grim portrait of Biden's unhappy America. President Joe Biden often says America's best days are ahead. It just doesn't feel that way right now. A nation exhausted by a 2-year pandemic, struggling against rising food and gas prices, driven to distraction by school closures, and torn apart by a political schism that erupted into violence, is far from at ease with itself. Joining us now to discuss is tax attorney Rebecca Walser. Also with us, prosecutor, Newsmax columnist Wendy Patrick, as well as Republican strategist John Thomas. Great to see our panelists. We can try to keep things positive, although, Wendy, it can be kind of hard to do so at times when everything costs more.
Emma, I call this the bipartisan blues. Everybody is upset that we're paying higher gas prices, higher food prices, if you can even find what you want to buy. I mean, we don't even have our shelves stocked properly. So, yes, everybody's feeling it. But, I question whether or not that inures to the benefit of the administration. Because after all, we all remember at least a hearty economy under President Trump. And people want to get back there because at the end of the day, we care about the kitchen table issues, our kids, healthcare, the border. I mean, I could go on and on. Yeah. But yes, even the Democrats are recognizing that this administration isn't delivering the goods, literally or figuratively.
Very, very well put. Yeah, you really have to take the number 7.5%. It really doesn't resonate with everyone. But here's what does. You're paying 40% more at your gas pump. So when you're going to fill up your car, you're going to visit relatives, going to work, you are paying more each and every day. You're paying more for, obviously, your groceries as well. John Thomas, I'll bring you into this. It gets me to my next point, because as you were pointing out that article, CNN has to point it out in saying that, it was a disaster. But then he also called out this poll here. Watch this.
Here. Do you approve of President Biden's job performance? Well, look at how bad these numbers are for the president. Only 4 in 10 Americans, 41% at the moment, approve of his job performance. Nearly 6 in 10, 58% disapprove. That's a tough number early in a midterm election year for the president of the United States. Now, why is this happening? This is fascinating. We asked people, what has President Biden done for you that you approve of? 56% of Americans, nearly 6 in 10 Americans. That means a decent amount of Democrats said nothing. They disapprove of everything that has happened.
Wow. John Thomas, your response.
I mean, those are very, very difficult numbers. And it gets even worse because even CNN can't put a positive spin on how bad these numbers are. But the real ugly number that John King didn't discuss is we call it the right track, wrong track or direction of the country number, which is, do you approve of the direction of the country? Almost every single public poll that has been put out in the last several months has that number upwards of 67% wrong track. 67%. Oftentimes, as we get to a big election cycle, whether it's a midterm, it's mirroring the direction of the country to a president's or party's approval rating. It's possible that Joe Biden's approval and the Democrats' approval sinks to 60 or disapprove, sinks to 67% disapprove. It will be a bloodbath in the midterms if these numbers hold strong at a time when Biden's only solution to the inflation problem is more government spending with his Build Back Better equity plan.
Yeah, Republicans not in favor of that approach. But what's interesting, Rebecca, is we've seen some Democratic leaders, state leaders, who are following the trend of Republican leaders in that they're lifting these mask mandates. What do you make of the timing of it all?
Exactly. That's the entire, you hit the nail on the head there. Because the thing is it's an election year, and they know that when the country is moving away, I mean, there's been such a move since the Canadian truck convoy has been happening. There's been such a move in Canada towards releasing vaccine mandates. And now America, we're sort of lagging behind, but it looks like with your earlier segment that American truckers are also going to mobilize against mandates. And so you see Democratic governors that were maybe overreached more than their Republican counterparts starting to pull back. But the timing is so suspect. It's not really what they want to do. It's what they have to do to preserve. It's called self-preservation at this point.
Yeah. Really quickly, Wendy Patrick, talking about midterms, elections, obviously in not too long you're going to have a presidential election. Hillary Clinton has popped up again. She's going to be speaking at the New York State Democratic Convention. Possible showdown of Trump-Clinton 2024?
Oh, deja vu. So, Sean, Hillary's going to have to be like Cher or Madonna and continually reinvent herself because she's got to have a different message. But, she's smart enough to where she actually might pull this off in terms of having a message, not in terms of whether or not she's going to win. But she's looking at what's happening now and trying to figure out how to promote both health and wealth. And I got news for you. She's going to go down to the border. She may have a press conference down there because that's something neither President Biden nor Vice President Kamala Harris has done. She's got to have a wedge right between those two to have a shot.
All right, we'll leave it right there. Rebecca Walser, Wendy Patrick, John Thomas, thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.